Hello people and hello my Chili Con Carnage crew. It is Chili here for the side B of episode 7. Once again, I am joined by Matt.
Hello.
Matt, how's things going?
Always good. I'm slightly drunker and slightly more loose about music taste.
Don't worry, we'll make plenty more mistakes on this episode. We already had to just... I don't know what we did just then,
technical
but...
difficulties.
I know, technical difficulties. Like, if anyone who watches the live stream knows about my technical difficulties, we just spent half an hour with the cameras trying to make this work. So,
and now they're after all the
Yep, after all this, it's just like that.
We can't say that in the first 90 seconds.
You can't say the first 90 sequence.
That was the best joke we had all day.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm just going to wait for 90 seconds and then I'll just cut to a it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Thing sucks.
So, Matt had a fantastic list, of course, from the episode before. If you haven't checked that out, make sure to do so, because there were some tough decisions. You will don't. You just have to question it. I nearly did this recording without my hat, and of course, the main thing is people won't recognise who I am without the hat. I put on the hat. Everyone knows who I am.
Alright, hit me with some juicy lists, boy.
So, I've got a list for Matt. And I had to revamp it because...
I took your list.
he took one of them off my list and I'm like, damn it! This is why when we do the game, it's important to pick a few backup bands.
Very good. Which I did not, which I'm so glad I went first.
yeah, you got lucked out on this one. I feel a bit...
Good old coin flip.
Yeah, it was rigged, I say. Rigged!
Gravity, it works one way.
I see you just bribed Isaac Newton, didn't you?
Apples love me.
Lightning comes my way. Alrighty then. So, bless you. Now, I have a list that I feel is going to be intriguing. So, I'm going to hit you up with this one here.
Alright, let's go.
I'm going to go with, first of all, System of a Down.
Yep.
Guns N' Roses.
Okay.
Iron Maiden.
Alright. Wonderful. So straight off the bat I can tell you that I haven't listened to all of these albums by all of these bands, any of them.
And that's perfectly fine. This doesn't necessarily have to be a contributing thing. Who has the time to listen to music these days, seriously?
Alright, where do we start?
Yeah, which band out of these three would you like to start on?
Okay, so ever since you did your Iron Maiden listing all the albums in order from best to worst, worst to best.
Check that out, by the way.
Yes,
nice plug.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm helping. You can see my comment saying, right, this is exactly what I'm going to say right now. I decided to listen to Iron Maiden for the first time, and me being a purist in some sense, started from the first album.
That is quite commemorable, by the way. Going straight in deep and going with the first album. Not my suggestion when it comes
Not
to
at all.
it. But I'm proud that you did, and you started it all the way back from the start.
Yep, started it before, was it Cancer, I think, pre-Cancer, was it, when Diamo died?
Cancer? Who are we talking about here? See, that's like Cancer Bats. We're talking about first Iron Maiden now, so we're talking about self-titled Killers?
No, the first singer, Paul Diamo. Was it Paul Diamo?
Paul Diamo, yes, Paul Diamo.
He died from cancer, didn't he, early on? Was it cancer or something?
He died.
Is it?
He died
Am I right
some
or
time
wrong?
ago. You might be. Yeah, I think you are right. I think he died a couple of years ago. It was only fairly recent.
Bruce Dickinson's the second singer.
Bruce Dickinson's the second singer. Really kicked it off with the band. And, of course, the third singer is Blaze... Oh, shit. Blaze...
Oh, my God. It's not Paul Dano.
No, it's Paul Diamore.
Diamore, maybe. I'll look up how he died.
Oh, come on now.
Fact check ourselves.
Yeah, we're going to fact check ourselves. But
Maiden.
You did go back and listen to, of course, the albums in chronological order, which anyone who's watching this episode right now going, I love Iron Maiden and, this is going to be an interesting one, that is quite the effort to achieve. Many people have probably listened to Iron Maiden in chronological order if you're going back in the day.
Paul Dano.
Yeah, I knew it was Paul. Yeah.
Oh, actually, look how he died, huh?
Yeah. It was yes, we got the name.
We already know how we say his name, Matthew.
Come on, get it right, damn you.
Doesn't say he's dead, age 64.
No, I think he's still alive, isn't he? Blaze Blakely. Blaze Blakely? Blaze.
Who was it that died? So, how did Paul Diano make way for... I have no idea. So, okay.
I don't think he was the right fit for the band.
To premise it then, I don't know much about this band.
That's alright. I know far too little to be commenting on it, but we'll make massive jumps and bounds to get to where we have to go to.
And I'll be doing some fact checking.
Oh, yeah,
I'll be doing some a little... Every now and then I'll have to check track lists and stuff like that, but we'll see how we go.
That's fine.
But we'll start with Iron Maiden, I think.
Yeah, so tell us about your journey.
So far, I started with the self-titled. Obviously, we've already covered that ground. And the first album, I was already on the fence. Like, okay, it's a time of music that I didn't understand because I wasn't born, and it's a style of music that has been circling my radar, but not prevalent in my upbringing, not prevalent in my music taste. Even though ridiculously, I would nearly argue that Death Grips is metal, but we won't get into that.
Completely. I can hear a lot of purists groaning right now. Oh my god, he didn't just say that, did he? Everything circles back to something, people.
But it's very good. It's you know, even as a young band, like I didn't know that they were English, which is awesome. So I wasn't coming into some like, you know, like stereotypical American sludge metal or stereotypical American heavy metal. Because what is it? I suppose hair metal, would you call it?
The stuff in the 80s. Oh, yeah. God, no. Iron Maiden's new wave of British heavy metal.
Okay, yeah.
Blue is kind of like Blue Oyster Cult.
Blue Oyster Cult is British too? God damn.
Yeah. No, they're not. No, they're not. Fuck me.
I was going to say, I don't think so.
Oh my god. I can't believe I just
You got it right here. Chili doesn't know anything about music.
Diamond Head is the band I was thinking.
Diamond Head,
Diamond Head, massive influence. But yes, I don't mind, 100% are English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grassroots, which is good for me because like my formative years were made on Britpop, and let's remind ourselves about Oasis.
I want to erase them again.
But it's great. It's like, it's, you know, I don't know if I've got quite to the point where all of the songs are written about these really esoteric things. Like, I think some of it I've got too. Like, I've got Alexander the Great off the top of my head, which is
Somewhere Back in Time.
Yep. A great retelling of like a great moment in time about a great man named Alexander the Great. You know, like
seems fitting.
It's great. It's a great song too. Great. No, it's bizarre. Like to be such. Not off the first album, obviously, but to be so bold as to be like writing these like long, lengthy, progressive, intricate, whatever the word is, intricate songs about these things that are like high literature. You know, like they're high history. They're highbrow. They're not a silly band.
You go back to the days as well. Yeah. I mean, you're going back to hair metal where Def Leppard was talking about.
Or Van Halen even. Were they around the same time?
Yeah, Van Halen were doing that.
Not Jump, obviously, but like back when they were doing...
They were doing Jump around Alexander.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 5150 around there and stuff like that. But yeah, all of it was like, we're going to do a double entendre about playing my skin flute. You know, and now here is Iron Maiden talking about Alexander the Great.
They're teaching me things. I'm at work. I listen to, with my plug, Google earbuds, and I'm listening to like Iron Maiden stuff, and I'm actually like, you know, I'm learning things about stuff. I'm learning things about like things that are related directly to metal music and things that are related to all these other wildly different topics. And that's only one part of the band. Like I've only seen Paul Dano and up to
Bruce Dickinson.
I've only just started.
What you're saying as well off air, you've got up to Virtual XI.
I got to Virtual 11, yeah.
Okay, so we're up to Virtual 11 people here.
Which was a controversial pick on your behalf. As you said in your Go Watch It video.
And it did stir a lot of controversy.
And to be honest, I agree with you. Virtual 11 is good. It's actually better than the first album that I can't remember his name.
The Southern Cross. No, sorry, that was a song off that one. The previous album, but by Blaze.
Blaze. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's you know, Blaze was such a chop. Like
The X Factor. Yeah. Because he only had 2 albums.
Oh, really? So Virtual 11's the end.
That's it. That'll be the end of his tenure with Iron Maiden.
Oh, well, I'm kind of interested to see where it goes then. Not that I think Blaze is bad or anything like that. I just think it was a big change. Like it's turned like Bruce Dickinson had this like bombastic voice, like and I've just been stuck with a lot of Bruce for a little while, and I think that the thing that I do know is that Bruce does come back in the future, right? He's touring with them now currently, isn't he?
Yes, he does. So the next album you'll be coming across is Brave New World, released in 2000.
Which is Aldous Huxley.
Sorry?
Which is Aldous Huxley. It's a book.
Yep, it's based after the book as well, the namesake of it.
The book burning book, right?
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think you're right. Yeah, the one that was probably burnt, you know, And
No, I think the topic is book burning and like there's a whole loss of culture. There's a whole loss of I don't know. I'm talking about my ass here. I don't know enough about.
I thought it was about futuristic terminology, similar in the way that
1984.
Yeah, 1984.
I think it's up there with 1984 as far as science fiction is concerned.
But you might be right. It might have to do with book burning.
I could be wrong. Actually, it might be Slaughterhouse 5 or Fahrenheit 415.
Now, Slaughterhouse 5 is about World War II. A guy who can see into the future because that was a weird film. That's
cool. I'll be honest. I'm such a science fiction nerd, but I don't read enough.
Yeah, Slaughterhouse 5 is sick, actually. But
plug.
People. Go read Slaughterhouse 5. Brave New World is Bruce Dickinson's re-entry to the band.
Okay. Cool.
And that was released in 2000. It also saw.
And this is like new metal now. Like new metal is very prevalent.
Yeah, new metal
Green Day
is
going
up
around.
there. Green Day,
not new metal, but we've got Green Day going around.
It was Limp Bizkit. It was.
What was Korn? Korn's around at the time.
doing the rounds. Even
and we got another band around.
System of a Down.
Yeah. I can't even remember the bands. I'm fucked. Slipknot though.
Slipknot. Yeah, I think, and even Linkin Park possibly came out around this time.
Don't they rap? It's a joke. It's a total joke. Oh look at him. We've lost him.
My brain just left. You can stay here, but I'm leaving.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
I was thinking more like, oh god, we're going to need some apple cider for that one. No, we're going to need Jack Daniels for that.
Oh yeah, talking to a person that doesn't know metal to a metal fan. Here we go.
But it is very different to. I don't want to ruin the experience too much.
You can't. I think the more I learn, the better it gets.
Okay.
So.
I don't want to.
And there's a lot of like when I was watching your video, because I didn't have the context, I was listening to like a lot of
talking.
No, not a lot of talking, but a lot of things that were like specific, and I'm like just trying to get the general gist, which is like obviously the wrong way to learn about a band, but I was getting the general gist, and I'm actually the album that I'm most excited for is their latest album. I feel
Senjutsu?
like I'm going to be right on. I reckon I'm going to be there for it. I reckon I'm going to be like, oh my god, do you understand how like much of a return to form? And you're going to be like, bah, you don't know nothing about metal.
I'm going to be that gatekeeper. And I'll be like, tell me how you like Senjutsu. Fucking wanker, I can't believe I introduced him to this fucking band.
I'm sorry, I like what I like.
There's no wrong answers, but you're fucking wrong.
You just erased my favourite band in our last episode. Spoiler.
Oh, but no, moving on from the future, obviously 80s era Iron Maiden was one thing. Moving into the 90s, they struggled to find themselves and find a footing.
It would have been hard because metal lost a lot of traction in the 90s too. Like
no, it changed.
It changed totally.
I think metal, in my opinion, in short, very summarised opinion, 90s metal was the best metal ever. Okay. But that's another story. So moving on into the 2000s, obviously it was another different scene again with new metal and all that into play. And when Bruce Dickinson came back into the band,
coming back at that moment,
it was a bit meteoric because also Adrian Smith came back, who was the original guitarist. So you had all of a sudden the trio of the lineup. You had the original lineup Iron Maiden plus can't think of the other guitarist at the time, but you had three guitarists.
So was the guitarist that died early? There was one that died during while I was listening. Might have been the drummer actually.
Yeah, the drummer passed away from MS in the 90s.
MS, thank you. That's the one I was thinking of early, not cancer. Not The Room.
Clive Burns or something.
And that to me even showed a massive shift because I think
they did a lot of concerts for him in his benefit.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Yeah, okay. Because I remember the first message I sent to you was after I started listening to the first two, I think it was up to the first... Either the first three or the first two albums, and I was like, fuck, that bass and that drum, like, they just drive the whole fucking album, like...
Steve Harris is an amazing bass player, and I'm sure everyone listening will be nodding their head just going,
goodness,
yes.
Steve Harris, you are a legend.
And that guy, he is Iron Maiden. He is the only constant member.
There's just like little moments where he'll just like dip in like for half a second and just be like, and it's like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Like this little... Yeah, like Run to the Hills, for example.
How do you do that?
And it just keeps going higher and higher, and you're like, oh my god, I was kind of expecting a guitar solo, but this bass is fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, and it's not like unapproachably bass. I'm sorry, not unapologetically bass. It's bass. It's a bass solo. Like it's not one of those bass solos that's trying really high.
It's no Victor Wooten shit.
Nah, it's not. It's not those seven strings we were talking about. No, Primus? Oh, yeah.
Primus. It's just meat and bone. It's like meat and veg, freaking.
Yeah, and it's in a metal song. It's a song that I like. I don't know anything about metal, and it's in this like completely unapproachable genre for me, and it's like it's already got this hook that I can just like identify with, like yes, here we go, let's do it. You've got a rhythm section. What does it sound like? You know,
I think to me, and you would have heard it in the worst to best review. Worst to best.
You did
rankings.
have a lot of the 80s stuff high up in the list, so I think I've hit the big stride. I think I've gone through the big stride.
Many will say you've gone through the stride indeed.
You can stop right now.
You stop 5 breaks after Brave New World. No, I think it boils down to the fact that the band can change their style drastically, because moving forward they start to write longer and more complex pieces,
which is I'm all there for. Like,
yeah,
so
if you're up for the progressive elements,
I'm going to have to stop listening to it at work though, because it's going to be a lot more complicated to stay in the zone.
Yeah,
they're going to be more,
because Brave New World was a really good transition album to reintroduce the band. Dances to Death was my first album. Dances to Death, worst album cover in freaking history.
As far as Eddie's concerned, Bad Eddie.
Bad Eddie. A Matter of Life and Death was incredible. That is very progressive and very based on like World War II and just war in general.
Interesting.
For me, I have seen this band live. Nice. I actually saw them perform during the Book of Souls tour, which was like 2016.
Okay.
And I got the ticket after a friend reached out to me and said, I know you like these guys, hey, I've got a spare ticket, going cheap. And I'm like,
fuck yeah.
Yeah, of course I'm going to.
That's exactly how I saw Tame Impala.
I'm sorry for you.
I actually, the conversation went like this. Oh, I'm going to Tame Impala on the weekend. How much did you pay for that ticket? Oh, like $100. I'll pay you $200 for that ticket. I've got a spare ticket. I'll pay you $100 for that ticket.
$200. My final offer.
I just wanted to see him live. Because it can't all be like one man in a fucking studio. There's got to be a band. Like, there's got to be a band. And I know it's not Pond. There's got to be a band.
100% on that, yeah. But for me, I saw them on Book of Souls. Even one of the songs that they performed live at the show in Sydney ended up on the Book of Souls live tour.
Yeah, okay.
So
another thing that I should say, I haven't listened to any live albums. I've just skipped live albums as I'm going. Okay. I think I'll go back and do live albums as their own solo thing.
That's fair.
I think I want to do studio stuff, because I think the way that a band wants to present themselves in a body of work, as a body of work, not just, you know, like in a small body of work as an album, but as a whole body of work, as a whole like discography. Studio albums is the start for me. I start with the stuff that they've put out, they produced, they were happy with, they've made. The live stuff then is them showing off their chops, like it's them doing their things that I think they should be taken outside of.
You're right. These are their babies, the albums are their babies.
Yep.
And for them, it's just showcasing the babies. You know, it's just out there doing their
proving their chops. Like not even proving it, just like you know, just doing the things that they're actually interested in with the songs that they actually like.
If you're going to go see them live, I'd recommend sooner rather than later. Keep in mind, this band has been around since 1975.
Yeah, they're old. So how old? They must be in their 80s then, 60s, 70s, 80s.
They're in their 60s.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. I'm a maths degree dropout. I'm still currently doing.
Show.
I'm still currently doing my golden ratio.
It's just doing its calculation back in the background. Yep. I'm still working on the Fibonacci sequence.
Right, they're old. They're older than me. They're twice my age. I love that. So I need to be there, sitting next to someone with really long hair, going, "Your favourite band too?"
Man, I saw them in '85. They're just not as good as they once were. Fuck off.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. Yeah. Iron Maiden is one of those shows where you'll find like a plethora of people from multitudes of different countries and shit like that, because they're beloved around the world.
Yeah, they changed the scene. They were the scene. They moved with the scene. Yeah. They did the whole thing. They were there for the whole like.
A lot of their stuff is also kind of based. Spinal Tap is kind of based on Iron Maiden.
That makes sense. Yeah. The jokes all like seem to like. I'm going to go and watch that movie.
Mine goes to 11, Stonehenge, and bringing in all this shit.
Much more high concept. It all makes sense now.
There's a few bands.
The girl with the numbers running past her head now. That's me.
Like Spinal Tap is based on several bands.
Obviously.
I'd say probably.
And there was like a lot of bands that did say in response to that, that's not funny, that's real life.
Yeah. And Iron Maiden is kind of one of those at the forefront, because anyway, Spinal Tap is a whole different thing. But definitely go through the studio albums. You're gonna rewatch Spinal Tap with this like renewed vigor and be like, definitely. Oh my god, it is.
Get it?
Actually, I would say watch, if not listen to, a live album before going to
the new stuff.
No.
Before going to
Spinal Tap, because it'll make more sense, especially their earlier stuff.
I'll finish the whole journey.
Yes,
and then I'll go back and revisit. I think I'll have to go back and revisit the albums that I liked. Speaking of the albums that I liked.
So yes, as you said, up to Virtual 11. What have you found so far? Because you've really hit the stride. You've hit what people would say the best
golden
albums.
era.
The golden era, of course. And
I'll have to look it up.
What have you found? I mean, because there was Bruce Dickinson's first album, Number of the Beast,
which was in your eyes the best of.
Yes, that was my favourite album on the list.
That's non-arguable. I think a lot of people would say that's Number of the Beast is up there with the best.
Many people might say that, but I think it's a contentious issue because they'll say that or Power Slave.
Yeah, and I was going to be like, I'm on the Power Slave journey. I think you were like, wait till you get to Number of the Beast, and then I was at Number of the Beast, and I was like, this is fucking great. And then I heard Power Slave, and I was like, this is the best stuff. This is it.
How was that transition going from the first two albums, which are like the first one's raw punkish,
and then you go raw. It's like so different. It's so different to the rest of the other stuff. Becomes really produced, becomes really refined. It becomes really like intensely
they're highly
not overplayed, but like. They're showing off again. Like they're doing these things that are like,
the musicianship
as far as I know, musicianship's unheard of.
The theatrics are there because like the first album is highly influenced by the whole punk scene from the 70s. Then you move on to the second album, which is more we're hitting our stride, doing songs like
Killers was good.
Killers is an amazing album.
And then they hit Number of the Beast, and it's like
Number of the Beast is just
we win.
That's
in reverse.
We're going to change it all up again. But like Killers, for example, when you have a song like Murders in the Room or Wrathchild, Genghis Khan, Killers, the soft.
Genghis Khan's crazy. That could have been a 15-minute song. Hey,
it definitely could.
I could have listened to that forever.
But Bruce Dickinson obviously been introduced to the band there, and it just took it to not just a whole new level, but a whole fucking planet.
It's crazy. They're a crazy band.
But Power Slave, 2 minutes to midnight.
2 minutes to midnight. So good.
And that made it to GTA Vice City, which was also another way I found out about Iron Maiden.
Actually, you did say that. Yeah, fuck yeah, that would have been so good. I was too young for GTA at the time. I had an Xbox too. I had an Xbox original, Xbox classic, Xbox as well.
GTA Vice City was like my exploration into a lot of 80s bands. Judas Priest.
That's where I learned how to listen to rap.
Fucking everything that.
So go more. Judas Priest,
what was it? Iron Maiden. They had their own band, Love Fist, which is like their piss take on the whole Def Leppard and Motley Crue type of situation that was going on.
Sick.
That was awesome. But then you had like the rap side of things.
It all, where they were like trying to contextualize the music for you, like I don't know the names of I really wish I did. I'm a bit of a gamer, but I'm not that much of a gamer. The guys that do the radio hosting stuff between
what's his name? Laszlo,
yes. Laszlo. And he's like constant between every single one of those, not every single one I guess, but like all the radio that I know about Grand Theft Auto always has Laszlo. I think he was on a talk show on a PSP version of Vice City that I know.
He's a real life DJ.
Oh, well there you go. See, I didn't even know that. Stupid boy sitting here. Young.
He was like one of the guys who was a proponent for GTA. Obviously, he was in GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, and moving forward to GTA 4. And I believe he's also he was in GTA 5. Yes, because he was in the cutscenes.
Oh fuck, he was too.
Yeah, he was on the America's Got Talent version or whatever.
Yeah. You were doing
and he was like dry humping Michael's daughter.
Yeah.
And then they chased him down during the chase scene.
Shot him in the head.
No, they didn't shoot him.
Oh no, we just chased him off.
No, they got his pants around his ankles.
Oh, that's right.
A photo of him, and he's like, "You do dumb thing." That
was the Franklin mission too. So good. You're playing as a cameraman, watching this whole thing play out.
The fuck,
dude, you're crazy.
That scene out of South Park.
So good.
Oh, but no, look, you've had a great run here with their 80s era.
And like, let's talk about music as a broad scheme, like 60s, 80s, 70s. Like, there's got to be a pecking order of how good music was in those days.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's a different conversation. I'd love to have with a bunch of people.
Very tough to have.
Yeah,
but you've got the Beatles kicking around too. They're still going strong.
Yeah, the Beatles. Well, 2 out of 4, right?
no, I mean still kicking strong in the 70s and in the 60s, 70s. By the 80s, they've changed music completely.
Yeah,
they've influenced music completely. By the 80s, you've got America saying, "Right, we can do this."
yeah. Well, they're giving it a shot.
There's local scenes. You know, another very interesting thing to look back at is Zamrock, which influenced Led Zeppelin, which influenced mind blank.
Zamrock was more 80s though, wasn't it? 70s and 80s.
I don't know. I'm really bad at time frames, so I'm saying like this.
I think Zamrock was influenced by Led Zeppelin because Led Zeppelin. You're talking about 1969. Was their first album,
okay.
Which only a couple of weeks ago was the anniversary of their first single, Communication Breakdown. First album comes out. Done on another list. You can check that on there. But yeah, the band themselves, like, I mean, because Zamrock is 70s, late 70s and 80s, and that's a whole interesting thing. It's
that's something that I need to delve into more. It's like it's so raw,
it's an untapped
and it's got a
era.
lot of fucking it's got a lot of controversy going on, like in the actual making of the music. Like there was a pandemic during the time. A lot of the artists had to leave the country.
Yeah, because there was like dictatorships and shit like that going on.
Yeah, there was like crazy.
There's a cool documentary. I'll try to link it down below here because it's like. There's a very interesting documentary which gives it about an hour's talk about.
There's a good playlist by
it's on
Vox,
Spotify as well as Zamrock.
Yeah, I think Vox did it. Is that Vox?
I couldn't recall really.
Earworm.
At the end of the day, earworm indeed.
Pause it.
I can't pause it.
We are paused now.
What's up?
Well, I found need break. We don't have to drive an hour because she's gonna come here. She's leaving Castle here.
There you go.
But she take $400. She have a $450. Oh, that's a picture from the web.
Alright.
Looks right. Eh?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Looks right. She probably clean it or whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
She bought it 2019.
So what? Tomorrow she come past and bring it up?
I can ask her to come here now or tomorrow. Tomorrow
would be better. Just tell her tomorrow.
Still lights.
Yeah. How much?
$400 cash.
Alright,
She's
do
Chinese.
it. Yeah, do it.
Love it.
Alright then, babe.
Well, she had for $450. I said, can you take 400? She said, so.
Oh wow.
Done.
Should
have asked for $350.
Yeah, should have.
I need about $350.
$350.
God damn it,
$350 gone once.
That's when I realised she was in
$350 gone twice.
Alright, it was about that time I realised.
Do it.
Tomorrow morning should be fine. Get it down now.
Okay.
She doesn't want people to know where she lives, and she's like,
"Oh,
we can meet up at
whatever
McDonald or Castle Towers. I live down the road, Castle Tower. I'll give you my address if you want to come here. It's easier for you because I don't want to go
That's
anywhere.
psycho.
Yeah,
that's a bit too weird. I don't know, Communist Chinese Party. Let's not get into that.
I don't want you to know where I live.
No one should know where I live. I don't even have my real name posted on Facebook.
I don't think that's a real name.
That's fine. Disposable account.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Okay, so
Iron Maiden's journey is so good.
Yes.
Yeah, and like the world was going off. The world was going off. Like, I guess
influence on the 80s.
Yeah,
as well.
They must have because they were 79 was their first album. Was that right? They were like
79, 80, somewhere around there.
Right out of the arse end of the 70s, and I think then they just like leap into the 80s with this fucking
Number of the Beast is what 82, I think, and that was like pretty much the whole 80s is Number of the Beast and a few other bands.
82, 83, 84. Their first live albums in 85. That I'm really interested in. I can't wait. Somewhere in Time was okay.
You didn't like that one?
It was okay. I think it was. It's not that I didn't like it. I think it was like when I just come off those last couple of albums, I just like. I think. After I went through the first album, I was like, fuck, I really enjoy this. I went to the second album, and then I went back to the first album, I was like, I don't know what I like more, and then I just like hit this like golden era where I was like, I don't know what to listen to anymore.
Yeah, now it's all fucking awesome.
Now it's all sick.
I've got to ask your opinion about 2 albums, actually.
Go for it.
Alright, No Prayer for the Dying.
1990, straight on the top. Trail Gunner, Holy Smoke, No Prayer for the Dying. Probably going to be number one, please. Oh.
Because I know in my list, and I'm going to spoil it now, that was my last pick. That was the worst album in my opinion. Did you find it alright, or...?
I mustn't have liked it as much as the rest of it. Some of it is a bit memorable, like, I think that You Open a Tail Gunner was sort of like it was actually a revisit, I think, of like an idea that they'd had earlier, where like the opening of another album about being a jet pilot or something like that.
Okay.
Not Somewhere in Time.
No, definitely not. Probably Power Slave?
Probably Power Slave. Ace is High.
Yeah.
So I think, as far as I was concerned, and that was Tail Gunner was like a bit of a capturing of this moment of well, not a moment, but this like, this is my thing, this is what I do, and it kind of was trying to start on the same foot, but then it goes in a direction that I can't remember any of this. Holy Smoke was fucked. That was
there we go, that's the sound bite for that's all I needed, everyone. Wrap it up.
And then even if the single off that, the thing that I do know about that album, the lead single, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. Yes. Is that like on the nose?
Yeah,
like,
it's fucking stupid. Everyone's like, yeah, it's a stupid song on purpose. I'm like, yes, but it's just fucking stupid.
I think I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to remember it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If you can push that one out, that's fine. What about, though, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask the question about Seventh Son. So Seventh Son was what, the last...
I think it was the last one they did with Adrian Smith before his return. I could be mistaken there, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
There was some Moonchild. You know what Moonchild reminds me of, actually?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure... what's his name? Weird. Frank Zappa? I'm pretty sure Frank Zappa's daughter's name is Moonchild, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Fuck yeah.
And
his son's named... God damn it. I've seen him live.
Oh, rough. I know it too. He's
Dweezil.
Dweezil Zappa. Dweezil Zappa.
Dweezil Zappa.
Yes.
Pretty cool artist. But Moonchild is his daughter's name from memory. Yes.
Yeah, and like she's on Valley Girls at Valley Girl, like totally. And she's so like choppy. And we're not even talking about Iron Maiden. We're talking about Moonchild now. She's the gem. And then she's also on another Frank Zappa song that I fucking love. The one about... I'm going to fact check myself. What's it called?
Oh God, don't tell me it's the one about freaking the guy who becomes a Bobby Brown.
It's on that album, I think.
Song.
No, it's on Joe's Garage. Joe's
Garage.
Oh, it's fucking Catholic Girls.
Oh.
Moonchild's on Catholic Girls. She's the little boy going, Dory Macaroni. Kind of young, kind of wow.
I have not listened to all of Joe's Garage because what are there, 3 acts?
Three acts. That's a concept album.
That's a whole different thing, I guess.
So yeah,
but yeah, you had Moonchild, but what about songs like the main ones? I was just trying to think of.
Go for it.
Can I Play with Madness?
Can I Play with Madness? Yeah, and I think that to me is like, if you were going to point at songs that sound like metal, or sound like a particular type of thing, that's what metal sounds like to me.
It's like a typecast 80s sound to you.
That's what it sounds like. You know, the high energy, high pitch singer going off his chops. Like it gives me images of the Who screaming "Yeah" on "Won't Get Fooled Again." It gives me fucking.
Yep.
It gives me like images of like a guitar straight up and down, someone going crazy. It gives me images of this like drum kit that's wildly large or wildly like over the top, just loud, like let's just go.
There was an era in time when you're looking at metal, as far as metal goes, it was still relatively simple,
and it was
still
standard
tuning.
The Jesus people were saying no. Like
if you play this record backwards, it says I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
And D. Snyder comes out to say otherwise, and like D. Snyder is actually an intelligent person.
What? Frank Zappa was there
at the same tribunal.
Yeah,
and D. Snyder was also there, and a whole bunch of other artists. But D. Snyder made a really good couple of arguments. It was.
I need to get back into that actual court case, because that court case is really interesting. It's like it bred like.
And there was a documentary. Might have been called "The Devil Made Me Do It" or something like that. I know that's a movie as well. On the Warrens, but I'm pretty sure there was also a documentary about it, something like The Devil Made Me Do It or some shit like that.
Okay, and that's talking about the
because they were talking about
is that when the parental advisory sticker came about, sort of thing? Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. They wanted to censor music. It was like, fuck off.
And then, like, fucking, like, speaking of that, like, how much we won, Frank Zappa's next album was an instrumental album, got a parental advisory sticker with 0 lyrics. So we're obviously suppressing fucking bad thoughts, not suppressing bad content.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Because it was all, it's devil worshipping and shit. And because Iron Maiden, a number of the Beast people. You know,
but it wasn't, you know, I've heard someone who's a big metal fan of mine, shout out to Shano, he said he was, like, brought up in a household where Christianity was, like, basically shoved down his throat.
Right.
You know, it was a thing that wasn't a question, it was like it was a practice, you know?
Yeah, right.
And so he got into metal, and then he was like, and then I realised that metal was saying the exact same thing that they were saying in church, but they were just giving me the other option. You know, they were just talking about, they were just talking about, like, all the Bible verses that aren't being read, all the Leviticus's and all the, like, the stories about Michael the saint that was fallen, but Michael was still a saint, you know, like all these things that were like...
There's a whole bunch of shit.
Even Virtual 11 has so much Christianity in it. So much.
Same as Slayer as well, because it's weird. People talk about them being one of the most anti... You know, I mean, they've got albums like God Hates Us All. You know, and you think they must hate
they must really not like Christians.
They must really hate Christians. No, it's not really true, because one of them, I think Tony or something, I think he's actually Catholic.
Yeah, exactly.
He's people for for years. He was a Catholic.
People
or something
like open and like.
Wait, Tony? Did I say Tony? I'm thinking of the bassist for Static X. Sorry, Kerry, I believe. Anyway, sorry, but anyway, one of the members.
But that's the thing, like, and he was and Shannon was telling me, like, my friend who's actually a metal fan, and he was like, and this is like part of the reason why I need to get into metal, because like. I need to have some talking points with my
with your metal friends.
With my metal friends,
you'll find lyrical themes within certain decades. In the 80s was devil,
and Bob Dylan used to talk about metal. Used to talk about the Bible in ways that weren't holding it up to this revered thing, but talking about it like it was like, oh, you guys have read the Bible. Yeah. Oh, you don't know the stories about the bad shit.
Yeah.
Like,
how you ignoring this part? Yeah. You know? But yeah, you'll find like lyrical themes continue in like certain decades. Like the Devil does a lot of recircling in the 80s. You know, you look at Motley Crue, Iron Maiden, Slayer, Metallica.
To a lesser extent.
Yeah, to a lesser extent. They do follow a lot of the Christianity. But anyway, I mean, Four Horsemen, for example. But yeah, anyway. Then you go on to the 90s. It kind of becomes a jumble. But, you know, going up to
because now I'm going to jump of metal because metal no one really knew which way metal wanted to go.
But then you jump to like now, and the metal scene I've found a lot. The lyrical basis is actually more about environmental destruction rather than worldwide destruction, which seems more realistic.
But also because like the thing about metal is that it's never not been relevant. You know, like it's always been a reaction of what is actually going on, and it's always been a grassroots look. Even if it's just a mirror saying this is the bad part of it, it's a grassroots look at what the fuck is actually happening.
Which, by the way, as of recording, as of this minute, I'm guaranteeing Slipknot is taking the stage at Knotfest right now.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up! Push my fingers into my eyes. Okay, devil music for the win on that one.
I think I was seeing a news article, a news story recently on Filter Franco about this satanic priest in the religion of Satanism in America trying to get Satanism taught in schools.
Yes.
Sort of thing.
Okay.
Which is like, you know, it stems from, but it wasn't related to, you know, equal opportunity for all. You know, people that are like a little bit curious, a little bit different,
because they do fight a lot for freedom of religion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, but if you want to give these guys
but they're not like a bad people. They're not like saying, you know, like go out and have sex with your sisters, go out and, you know, like have sex with 90 people, go out and stab people with pentagrams drawn everywhere. They're just, you know, they've got like normal laws that people follow. They're not laws, they're like religious rules. They've got like rational thinkers. They've got like, you know, like it's all theology. It's all the same kind of
it's a different cloth, you know, like, at the end of the day it's all for the same shit.
They're not saying be bad, go down. They're saying, you know, live life, enjoy life, realize that you might have bad times. If bad times do come, you don't need to fall on us, but we can help. And if you don't fall on us and you go somewhere else and help, you're alright.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, the inclusion's there, and, like, is that bad?
No, if you want to live your life and do your thing, you fucking do your thing. Like, just as long as it don't annoy any other motherfuckers, I say.
Which you're going to do when you're drunk, but we're not going to do right now because we're sober as hell.
No, yeah, exactly. We're very sober. What about the other two bands we got on? So we had System of a Down and Gunners.
I'm going to go with Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
I'm going to offend you. I'm going to offend you and a lot of listeners here by saying that my experience with Guns N' Roses is that
with bated breath, I continue this.
Have only listened to their singles.
That's fair.
I've tried really hard to get into some of their albums. Paradise City, I was like, this song's so like wildly, like it's got a vast landscape. It's not one sound through the whole thing. You know, it's like this beautiful, God essence like opening, and then like this crunchy slash going down. He's fucking shaking his head round, jamming down to the Paradise City. And I can't deny that the way he sings is like ludicrously ridiculous, but amazing. But amazing in every sense. But I am not a big fan of Guns N' Roses.
Okay,
not a big fan at all.
You know what? That's quite fair. My first introduction to the band was from their Best Of album.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's the same way that I would listen to Aerosmith, but let's not talk about that.
The less we go on Aerosmith, the better. Actually, interesting little fact, side note about Aerosmith. They were nearly on the plane that Leonard Skinner ended up on. So, yeah, that's could have been a different...
too.
Yeah.
Go watch that video. Leonard Skinner's...
Yeah, go watch the Leonard Skinner video.
Don't read the comments.
Yeah. Yeah. See how much I got wrong. I will do a correction video one day.
Rough. I mean, everyone was so like, oh, typical young people don't know anything.
Yeah, no way. Yeah, these millennials, they don't fucking know shit. I'm like,
I woke up today and the last member died, and I wanted to make a fucking video about my favorite band from.
I think most people saw that and they were like, okay, he's doing a tribute for him. And that's look, I don't have an army of writers. I'm by myself.
You're a man.
I make mistakes.
Things
I said wrong things and I didn't read over the script.
But in saying all those like wrong things too, that's like also a testament to how like confusing the whole timeline was with Leonard Skinner, because they didn't really like, disclosing a lot of information. It was only really like into their discography where they started like having Leonard Skinner, the man himself, come up and like introduce them. It wasn't like they were trying not to step on people's toes. They just wanted to be different. They just wanted to be doing their thing.
They were doing their thing.
Yeah.
But no, if you were doing an introduction to Guns N' Roses, I really would point you to the Best Of, because if you're looking over the rest of their catalogue, it's not that good.
I'm glad you're saying it, because fuck.
No, I'll say it, and I think a lot of people will agree. Chinese Democracy was one of the most... is the Waterworld of music. And
Guns N' Roses has a connection here somewhere.
And my connection is that Kevin Costner is... Everyone, say it with me. Axl Rose is the Kevin Costner of the music industry. He fucked up. He was on top of the world, wrote an overbloated piece of shit album that took 14 years and about 200 guitarists. And then, what the fuck is this? Yeah. Everyone was waiting for it. You should have just shelved it and said, fuck this, I'm getting out and doing my own thing. If you did that, I think I would have much more respect that you did your own thing.
You were happy with what you released.
Yeah, Slash did that. He did his own solo projects. He did his own band.
That's the thing too. I've got a lot of respect for Slash. There's no question. No question.
I mean,
seems like a nice guy too. Like,
yeah, he's a top bloke.
He's like
an incredible
guitarist. Yeah,
and he is. After Guns N' Roses imploded and he left, he just said, alright, fuck this. I'm going to play rock and I'm going to do my thing. And he just went out, started a band.
Did he become a session musician, or did he have... No, actually, he had a band, didn't he? He had like a...
Slash a Snake Pit, which is
kind of like... that's right.
Kind of like a bunch of session musicians to a degree. But they just recorded 2 albums in the 90s. Really good albums. Really good solo projects. And they would have been played
well, because if he's working... Because he would have been the guy that's like, I'm the best right now at what I do. I'm going to work with the best. Right now and what they do. Yeah, and you know what? He just said, fuck it, I'm doing my own thing. And he does that. It's Guns N' Roses just without Axl. Yeah.
That's what it was. And that's how he got in contact with Miles Kennedy. I think it was through Slash's Snake Pit.
Yeah, right.
You know, it was just this very intriguing setup that they did. And even when he did his solo project, obviously that was with Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, and then he brought in a bunch of guest musicians for various tracks, like Ozzy was on one of them, for example. And, it depends on how many albums you go after. The first album's good, the rest of it don't really bother.
Do they get conspiracy?
Yeah, circle the drain, everyone. Circle the drain. But yeah, like when you go back to Guns N' Roses, Spaghetti Incident, shit. That's just a covers album, so of course, it's gonna be pretty shit.
I have a weird thing with covers because, like, I come from the sample era.
Okay.
So, referencing or like paying homage to some of your favorite music isn't a bad thing. Doing a version of a song that you enjoy in your style isn't a bad thing, but if you're... I don't know how to say this without sounding like I hate covers, but if you're just trying to like redo the song the way that it already sounds without being able to hit the notes, without being able to sing the lows, or without being able to play on key, without being able to like stick to the rules, whatever it was, like you're not making a cover album, you're just making an album that you didn't write.
You're playing dangerous by doing covers because you're ruining a really good song. Sorry, you have a lot of potential to ruin a really good song.
And a lot of people, you're not only ostracizing your own fans, you're ostracizing fans of another band.
They've got the emotional connection to these songs and stuff like that. And on top of that, like if you don't change it, you're just doing a carbon copy that's just lazy. Yep. If you change it too much, then what the hell? That's not the cover anymore.
Yeah, you do it. That's all I remember.
And it's very...
it's such this weird line too, because like we have here in Australia like a version, which is a very long-running Australian tradition on Triple J, where bands come over, they do an original song, and then they do, they do a cover of another song, and some of the time, some of those covers are like top their list in 100. In 100 songs of the year.
Yeah.
Like the Wiggles recently did a Tame Impala song, and let's not talk about that because you hate Tame Impala, but they topped it. They loved it.
Yeah,
people love it.
They ended up doing an album full of covers.
They did. They did.
And they went with the Chats.
They did an album full of the double-sided album. It's an album full of bands covering their songs and then them covering other bands' songs.
Because the Chats did Hot Potato.
Yeah.
And then
which is great.
Which is fucking incredible.
which is the Chats doing Hot Potato. Like, what do you want?
And then the Chats work with the Wiggles.
And a chat is like a type of potato too. Like the connections run so deep. It's so good.
But to me, like if you're looking at the covers albums, and there's fuck tons of covers albums. There's only been
and also
one
looking back in history, there's a lot of bands, like let's talk about the Beatles, that got really famous doing covers. Like Roll Over Beethoven was like one of their biggest songs when they first come out.
Yeah. Led Zeppelin
did a lot of covers.
All those bands from the 60s and 70s pretty much would have 3 or so tracks that were cover tracks. Their versions,
just to remind you that they can actually play.
Yeah, the Who,
like it used to be a way to like say that they're not musically deaf. They're just doing something different.
Yeah, reiteration of a musical song. Rolling Stones. A lot of Rolling Stones.
Fucking Rolling Stones, actually. Their discography is crazy. Like, they got US albums, UK
US,
albums.
UK mixes are confusing.
It's so confusing.
But to me, there's only one...
has one.
There's only one good covers album, that was Metallica's Garaging. The rest are just...
Oh, yeah, you really like that. I feel...
really fucking love
Wait,
Garaging.
Was that the one that the other people covered Metallica songs? Or the one that Metallica did about other people's songs?
No, Metallica did that about other people's songs and their influences. So you see a lot of stuff, even stuff in the 70s. Bands that I never knew of, Merciful Fate, the Budgies, which is like this Scottish rock and roll group.
I can see it called the Budgies. That sounds awesome.
The Budgies. So like pretty much proto metal of the day. Anyway, like real early.
This is where 70s. This is where I like metal, like stuff that's like influencing this whole different scene. All the stuff that's come off like the Swans or
Black Sabbath,
Liturgy or something like that.
Black Sabbath were on there. Sorry, covers of Black Sabbath.
Yeah, obviously. I know what you're saying.
Motorhead.
I'm into Motorhead too. I'm very
Diamond
excited.
Head. Pretty much. I remember. We went out and bought this album, and then we went out and bought the albums that they were influenced by.
Yeah, exactly.
We just came around.
This is the one thing that I will say about Oasis.
Yeah.
They don't sound like a band that doesn't like music. They just don't have a strong sound, in my opinion. I actually would call myself an Oasis fan. when you see those guys like Liam Gallagher's personal solo material, say what you want about it, but Noel Gallagher, he's very open-minded as far as it comes to music. Outside of his own genre, he kind of, you know, and he could have not been, you know, like he's pretty close-minded as far as a lot of things are concerned. Like once he's got an opinion, he's opinionated. Like that's the end of it. But he's got like songs with the sampler. Damn, how does it feel like to let it all go down?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Andromeda, something Andromeda.
Oh, the person from shit. Yeah, I know who you mean. They were on the Gorillas.
Yeah, they would have been. They would have been because
it's all that whole British scene. Every British person knows every British person,
and like, you know, they've quashed their disagreements with Robbie. They've crossed their disagreements with Robbie and stuff like that. Like they weren't stupid in the sense that they didn't know how to play their instruments. They were just stupid in the sense that they were just from Manchester and they wanted to just make their own noise and listen to the Stone Roses and make music, and sometimes they wanted to get drunk and do cocaine and throw TVs out the window, and then they got in a lot of trouble, and that probably wasn't...
They were just stupid. You could have ended the sentence there and just be done with it.
But you know, they weren't musically deaf. They were like they were the kind of band that could release a whole covers album and do a lot of justice.
I will say, if you have to go back to a Guns N' Roses album, Appetite for Destruction is where you got to be, and that's I think that's all you need.
I think the thing that I know about Guns N' Roses is that I just need to listen to Appetite for Destruction and get over my own personal problems with Guns N' Roses.
Because there's tracks on there that don't make it on the grand. On the grand final.
On the grand final.
The grand final of Guns N' Roses. Full time. Scores up.
Time change size 10-2. Let's go.
There are songs on there that don't make it to the
final cut.
Yeah, the best of the greatest hits, like Rocket Queen.
Okay.
Or Mr. Brown. Was Mr. Brownstone on there? I don't think so.
Better not be wrong.
I'm not going to bother looking it up.
YouTube immortalised forever.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother looking it up. Correct me if I'm wrong. Fuck you.
Down in the comments.
I'm a human. I'm only human, people. I'm only human.
Skinner didn't get on a fucking plane.
Like Mr. Brownstone, which is about heroin use, which is rife during that time. Yeah. But Rocket Queen in particular, when you go to listen to, you know, their live versions, they turn that track into like a 20-minute guitar solo, and it's fucking epic.
Yeah.
And Rocket Queen in particular is incredible. You know, and then you go through the entire album, and it's an interesting one because Guns N' Roses are very much hair metal. They are hair metal. But
I agree, they're like the epitome of it. Like they were the band of hair metal, and they didn't even have that much hair. Slash did, yeah.
You know, no, you're very wrong. Axl Rose had lots of hair.
He had a long hair, but it wasn't like he was defined by it. He was defined by his bandana.
No, he just he did things. Yeah, that's true. And his ego, but an ego to match Gene Simmons. You know, like, and he also took the hairstyle from Dexter back in the day when he did the cornrows.
Yeah, okay.
And that was in the 2000s.
He did too.
Yeah. And Dexter retaliated by saying, "All right, if he wants to take my hair, I'll take his album title." He was going to call it his next album Chinese Democracy. And he's like, he sued him and was like, "No, I came up with it first."
It's not good.
Yeah, pretty much. Me. That's true rock and roll fucking attitude. Sue someone. See, you've learned that from Gene. Anyway, but no, the when you're looking over it all, it's a very interesting time because it is hair metal, probably the most iconic hair metal band. You know, people, I'm sure fans of Def Leppard and Motley Crue are going to murder me for saying that, but they also were on the deathbed of that, on the death rattle, I should say. Appetite for Destruction was the death rattle of hair metal. Yep. It was the final hurrah.
It was the noise. It was the last bit of noise before we get the coffin, the nail in the coffin.
And it was a great way to close out that genre.
And it reminded us all why we fucking loved it in the first place. Not me personally,
it's just
but
entertaining. It was dumb party entertaining stuff like that.
Remember when we had fun?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, amazing.
Editing for sure. Oh no!
I'm hooked.
You're hooked, bro.
We need to go to Audi.
Can we hurry? Can we do it a bit later? Fuck.
Oh yes. What do you do with that stool?
Actually, I'm going to edit that in because there is a line. Okay, now we've been talking about what I was just showing off camera was a item that you can get from IKEA called the blowjob stool. Aldi, sorry. IKEA, Aldi. What's the fucking difference? One's German, and I'm not surprised. I'm surprised.
Not German. You're going to get ostracized for that. I'm pretty sure it's Swedish.
Aldi is German.
Oh, sorry, we're talking about one.
IKEA is Swedish. But I'm just saying, I'm surprised that Aldi are selling a blowjob stool when wouldn't it be Shizer involved? It's all shit related. I don't know. So I don't know about fantasies and sniffle my titties, you know.
Yeah. It reminds me of The Dude Abides. What's that movie? The Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski. Yes,
the story is ludicrous.
But no. So the thing was, there was an image off screen just saying the blowjob stool, and I'm like, wait a minute. In Appetite for Destruction, there's a woman moaning during one of the tracks towards the end of it. I forget the track. And Rocket Queen. It was in Rocket Queen. It was in Rocket Queen. Yeah. Yes. And the story goes, like towards the end, like he's singing Rocket Queen. Here I am, Rocket Queen. Anyway, and there's like this woman just going to town, and the story is they just like some chick was brought into the recording studio, and they recorded Axel and her just going at it, and it made the cut. That's the story. Whether or not it's true,
I love a good rock story. Shout out to Guitar Stories. People that love good rock musicians that love good guitars, shout out to Guitar Stories. Stories about guitars, stories about... I think my first introduction was actually in Oasis fucking... I'm so sorry, I'm so ingrained in this band.
Why are you talking about Oasis? We're trying to talk about Guns N' Roses.
I think they were talking about a Johnny Marr guitar that was given to Noel. Anyway, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to talk about guitars, Les Paul's 59.
Yeah.
Beautiful piece. Oh man, that is like such a signature guitar by such a signature guitarist.
Yeah.
The man who can't see past his own fro. You know.
Amazing.
And I mean, iconic videos. November Rain. He bursts out of the church that they're getting married. Axel and that chick. And to do his solo, and he's just bare chested with a cigarette.
Let's just go. See, I was an MTV child, sort of in the era that I was growing up with what we called Ostar, but it was like cable TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were everywhere. They were always on lists. They were always like, and I'm talking about Guns N' Roses now specifically. They were always on lists of like most influential, highest grossing, best moments
albums.
They
kind of redefined MTV for that time, because this is that period between when hair metal was starting to go on the decline and grunge wasn't there yet. So where's this in between?
In the middle.
Yeah, what's in between? 1987, Appetite for Destruction drops, and here's what we can play for the next 4 years until Nevermind.
Yeah, and then again when it come back to fucking remember how good yesteryears were. Let's go back to Appetite for Destruction. Remember that? That was so good. We
can think about it all over again. And Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, which was interesting. There's a couple of questionable tracks in the mix, and people will agree with that one. But you can't deny the bangers that are on there.
Okay.
Live and Let Die also cover.
Oh yeah,
again,
but
Paul
also
McCartney.
like, let's be honest, like, as far as, and we were talking about the Beatles already, but as far as like Wings and post
Beatles,
post Beatles Paul McCartney stuff was, it was never a question that he couldn't write a good song. It was never a question, and his like contribution to music did not stop.
No.
And
I wish it did.
Well, that Kanye song's pretty good. And I remember the first time I ever heard Live and Let Die was Axl Rose straight away.
Oh, interesting.
Live and Let Die. I wish I could do it. He's so...
If I ever go back to rewatching, like if I rewatch Live and Let Die in the Bond series, I don't hear the Paul McCartney version. I hear the Guns N' Roses version.
Exactly.
And it's a shame because like people always say Live and Let Die is one of the worst films in the run in the Bondage series. And I can agree, but that was also one of the first films that I really got into. And
we were young once. Let us have our thing.
Yeah,
I liked playing GoldenEye. Let me just be happy.
Yeah, I mean, look, GoldenEye.
Couldn't say his last name.
Who?
Brosnan.
Brosnan. Brosman.
Brosman.
Brosman. You got another one? Nah, still sitting on this one.
I want to see one of yours.
Yeah, man, take it.
The Byrons?
Yeah, if you want to take the Byrons, please do.
You don't like them?
Nah, not big on them, let me put it that way.
Yeah, I don't either. They're beer.
It's a beer, though. But yeah. I mean,
so I personally can't deny Guns N' Roses' contribution to music. I'd be silly to say that I hate them.
Look, I mean, it's like me at the end of the day. I don't like the Beatles, but I know they've got a contribution.
Yeah, and that's not even a controversial opinion anymore. Like the Beatles, they were fucking annoying. I've got two Beatles stories. One of my teachers was a massive Beatles fan. And he gave like a lot of contribution to my music taste through my brother. Okay. By being on board with my brother exploring the Beatles because Oasis was so influenced by them and so like revered. But then also that same guy was like trying to ship Iron Maiden under my brother, and my brother just had no go of it.
Okay.
Right. So like it's an interesting like weird line we step. Like
there's a weird step between the two. I remember the story about. I'm gonna delve into Oasis for a minute, but there was the story that people said, "Oh, what about you being so similar to the Beatles?" And of course, Liam's retort just going, "No, the Beatles were like us.
They're fucking like us.
They're fucking like us."
Fucking and then Noel on the other hand was saying, we get compared a lot to the Beatles and stuff like that, but you name another band that was this fucking close. If we had a banging third album, we were this fucking close. What another band was that? And it's true. You can't deny it. They were everywhere on Definitely Maybe. They were everywhere on Morning Glory.
Well, they shot themselves in the foot with that.
And then they fucking did a lot of cocaine and did Be Here Now.
Yeah, Be Here Now is a fucking atrocious album. That's a train wreck.
Yeah.
Overbloated piece of shit.
Anyway, Guns N' Roses. So I'd be silly to say that they didn't contribute to my upbringing. I'd be silly to say they didn't contribute to a collective thought.
Yeah.
They not compared to the British metal because I don't know a lot about it, but they did define what US metal could sound like at a time where we thought metal was dead. We thought, we thought it wasn't gonna be popular anymore. We thought it wasn't gonna be, as widespread as it is.
Yeah, and I mean, like Nirvana also killed off the hair metal scene and a lot of scenes.
Yeah, and
I think Guns N' Roses kind of kept it alive until it needed to come back.
So the same brother. So this is my live interaction with Guns N' Roses. My brother went to the recent live Guns N' Roses tour that they just did. Okay. Which means that if I know my brother, he would have listened to all the albums.
Yes.
He would have done the best. He would have done the best way he could. And I got some of the clips I got from there. Like, do you know the song "Raging Bull"? Is that right?
Could be from Chinese Democracy. I don't know.
No. It's a cover. Oh. It's like the first. It was apparently the first song that used power chords. We're gonna have to take a little break because I'm gonna look it up because it's got a really.
I don't particularly know it. I mean, I'm curious because I was half interested to see the band tour during that. I've had a few chances to see Guns N' Roses, and I feel like I missed an opportunity when it comes to them because Slash was back. And I feel like I really missed an opportunity there.
Yeah, it's like that's why my brother jumped on it. He's like, I'm not even a fucking massive Guns N' Roses fan. This is around the same time that Thor: Love and Thunder came out too. So Guns N' Roses is back in the limelight.
And I mean, like when you look at it, it's like say David Gilmour reunited with Roger Waters. Like, fuck, man, I'll be all over that. Like,
yeah, exactly. Imagine what we could get instead of this new album coming out. Like, imagine what we could get. And that's a video that you've got coming. Spoilers.
Oh, it's already out. You're talking about Dark Side of the Moon?
Yeah.
That's out. Check that out.
Go watch that.
But, yeah, Raging Bull, I mean, I've not heard the track. I'm going to say it's the Kinks or something like that. If it's going to go back to power chords, the Kinks are pretty in... I mean,
no, it's not a Kinks song.
No? They were nearly bigger than Oasis. Sorry. They were nearly
bigger than the Beatles. Yeah, dude, Kinks are crazy. 8-Man, fucking Louie, like... They're one of those bands that I haven't listened to albums by, but like the Kinks are so influential to the way that I listen to music. Yeah. If I don't like a band from the 60s, I make sure the Kinks did.
That's my merit, and that's where I judge it from. Do not judge me.
I've almost got it.
Let me judge you upon how the Kinks did it.
Because it's an interesting thing. Rumble by his Rayman's. Link Ray and his Rayman's. That's it. Link Ray and his Rayman's Rumble. Now, put in a clip of this guitar part from Rumble. Not only did they do a cover of it, they had Axl Rose talking about how, as far as metal was concerned, this song Rumble was the first use of power chords. Okay. It changed the way music was made because power chords now, it gave an option for people that couldn't play full chords to move into a Nux full chord, to move into a solo. They could stay right next to where they were going with a power chord or whatever it was, and they could like strum away real slow, real fast. Doesn't matter how it goes. Also linked to Ex-Military by Death Grips samples Rumble heavily.
Oh, okay.
So so my first interaction with this song was Rumble on this Spread Eagle Across the Block by Death Grips, and this is why I say they are metal, because they are not silly.
Yeah, right, okay. Because that's interesting. If you say metal, I'd point to Black Sabbath. That would be the.
But see, this is all pre that.
Yeah, this is all about 60s.
Rumble was released in very early.
Like 62, 63 type.
Would have been early, yeah.
Yeah, no, I believe you on that part. I mean, obviously, there's always a proto of everything. You look at punk, for example, which was a big influence on Spaghetti Incident. They did Iggy Pop on their Spaghetti Incident one and a few other.
1958. 58. Yeah,
now
crazy,
I'm very
dude.
intrigued.
Yeah, dude.
I'll put a link down at the bottom or some shit. Remind myself, people watching now.
I'll send you Rumble.
Send me Rumble on that, so I can also check it. Now, the other one as well on the list was System of a Down.
I want to finish off on Guns N' Roses. So
okay. You got something else to say?
I don't call myself a Guns N' Roses fan.
Yeah.
I can't deny that Guns N' Roses have amazing songs. Some of their stuff is epic. It's amazing. It hits all these notes, you could be fucking 40 years old and just be like, oh, the Roses or the Gunners, it is what it is. You could be fucking 15 and be like, fuck, the first time I heard Paradise City, I really had an erection. You know what I mean?
She's giving me a chub. I mean, when you're 15 and you learn to play guitar, it's like, I swear, everyone goes through, 3 artists, and it's going to be Guns N' Roses, Deep Purple, or freaking AC/DC or something like that.
I can still do Deep Purple's Smoke on the Water.
I think everyone knows the play.
And then the only thing I can play is fucking Wonderwall, so that's my guitar. So yeah,
it's hard.
I have a live experience with Guns N' Roses through my brother, which I trust very good in music, even though I say a lot about the stuff that he showed me and the stuff that he forced down my throat. I was branching out, looking at a lot of different things, a lot of newer bands at the time where he was stuck in the past. But I can't deny that they are fucking influential. If I had to erase them, it would be very sad. If I had to listen to them live once, it would be very awesome. If I could have to listen to them forever.
But we've got one more band. We've got one more band to go on this one.
Alright, do it for me.
System of a Down.
System of a Down. Now,
this is another really. I mean, this one hits a nerve for me. Going back to it, I was there for when Chop Suey hit.
Yeah.
And that was a monster track.
Yeah. And see, I wasn't there for it, but I remember it. I remember it as well. When I was the same age that you would have been when it came out, it was a monster track for me too. And I was like, oh, just so psyched. And I was a happy-go-lucky, fucking lovely little Britpop loving thing. And I was like, this song rocks. Yeah. What the fuck?
It's hard. You were probably more on when BYOB came out, I'm guessing.
Probably.
Right always hit the bar!
Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth. We're going to get copyright strike.
No, only if I put the actual video clip in.
I just think I sung it so well.
Yeah, nailed it. That's definitely Serge Tankovic right there. Shout out to Armenia. One of the most famous Armenian bands, at least the only one I probably know.
Truly.
And a band that also introduced me to, I had to bring this episode down a little bit, but introduced me to the Armenian genocide. A forgotten piece of history almost. So, yeah. Look, I mean, System of a Down is a huge band.
They're huge. And they have such a prolific legacy on their music as well. They've influenced so much. They've influenced music now that's coming out today that isn't metal oriented, that is it's pop, it's hyper, it's different, it's avant-garde, it's his voice, the
high
sound that was doing, the energy, it was, and then even not even that too, some of the fucking politics, some of the raw thing, and that's a great tie straight to Iron Maiden's subject matter. what do you say? And so
I mean, they're more politically charged than Iron Maiden. Yeah, Iron Maiden had some very political messages.
They had music that was like based
Run to
on
the
history.
Hills
That was,
and stuff
we can
like
say
that.
bass because that's new these days. They had Iron Maiden was bass, but System of a Down, they were like they were up on they were ground feet, like
they were on the
front lines.
Yeah, and they were talking about it. You know, songs like Prison Song. You know, what is it? Oh, shit, the opening lines to Prison Songs to this next level. You know, mandatory sentencing has never reduced.
Yes.
You know, just.
Mandatory sentencing in the USA has never been reduced since 1964.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah, just this weird set of like lyrics, and they're all just. It's like, I'm going to cite facts and put this into.
And it doesn't sound not lyrical. It doesn't sound like he's not a musician. It doesn't sound like it's not a song. It sounds fucking awesome. It sounds fucking awesome. And not only have you just come away from it, you've learned a thing. You're actually thinking about something now. You're angry. You know, you want to make change now.
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
right. You're charged up. You're like...
Yeah, that's right. What's up, Mum?
Matt, you're staying for dinner.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
I've been told by other
Stay
Jew.
tonight if you want.
No, I'll be fine. It's only an hour back
Staying
home.
for dinner.
Staying for dinner.
Sorry, I didn't realise it was still taping.
Yeah, we're
All
still
good. All good. Back in.
Back in. Okay. So when you go to like... Okay.
Yeah, he'll eat it. He'll eat it. He's on the farm.
Take 3.
This one. Okay, so you go to like the sentences from Prison Song for, minor drug offenders, fill your prisons, you don't even flinch. I buy my crack. The percentage of Americans in the prison system has doubled since 1985 because they're talking about mandatory sentencing and a war on drugs being a failure.
And this is back in the days where, like, I'll give you a little bit of context about my childhood. I was like the straight edge man. I was like, I'm not even gonna fucking drink. I think drinking is stupid. I think anyone that does drugs is a moron. And I was like, I'm quite interested in doing LSD one time because, like, it looks like the Beatles did it one time. But other than that, every other drug is silly. You'd be stupid to do it. And now, like, I love liquor. I think liquor should be illegal, but it's so good.
You saw what happened to alcohol back in the 20s. It did not end very
Prohibition
well.
does not end well, never.
Prohibition
got a good prohibition hat there going on. The
Beer
Baron.
I will get you, Beer Baron.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will. But prohibition never ends well. And then they're talking about it's talking about prohibition in nowadays.
And it's still relevant.
It's still very relevant.
Look at America at the moment. They've got weed legalized in like most of their states.
Yeah, like
and now they're pushing now for LSD as medical, as a medicine, as medicinal.
It's crazy, I guess, how the movement has changed over the 20 years. Or sorry, the scene has changed, and how much has changed. Sorry, I'm using the word change a lot, but how much is
on this the day of the election. Improved. Good
improved, word. I guess. Yeah.
The way that we think about drugs these days has been influenced by a lot of the music that we listen to in a way that's more progressive. It's more ironic. It's more relevant. It's more real. Like it's But in saying that, we still have massive fentanyl problems in America. Not for us here. Lucky we just drink Zanny over here.
Bloody Xanax crowd these days. But no, it's just it's a crazy set of rules that are out there, and it's how much the scene has changed and how much of an impact it had back in the day when they implored a bunch of musicians and stuff to say, hey, we're famous, don't do this because it will do bad things. A perfect example is Reefer Madness, which was a movie released in the I want to say 30s, maybe, or 50s. I can't remember.
It was old.
It was an old school movie, but it was definitely very wrong.
Not Friday, put it that way.
Yeah. But it was. I remember though that friends who were always on that shit. They used to get high to that because it was such a funny film. Johnny here has smoked a joint and now is going to murder his family. Like that's quoted direct.
It's my go.
It's like, oh my god, what? Johnny did one joint, and now he's going to murder his family.
He's injected a weed.
People. Where? It doesn't matter. He's going to kill
Why? Drugs, Donnie! This is a Room shout out. Fucking yes, the Room.
Oh.
What kind of drugs? It's Danny, not Donnie.
Yeah. Or that famous ad where like they're sitting around and they go, who had this joint? It was me. I'm so disappointed. He was like the 8-year-old, like his brother. Oh my God, why? I'm so disappointed too.
Not even once.
Did you know that if you buy marijuana, you are legalized? You technically endorsing Satan.
Yes. Oh, how topical.
Oh, hail Satan. But yeah, I mean, I remember System of a Down coming out for Big Day Out. That was still the thing. And
was that Limp Bizkit? That was the Limp
Bizkit.
Bizkit.
I think it was on the same year, or it could have been the year after.
Linkin Park. No, it was definitely Limp Bizkit. That was the murder year.
2001. No, System of a Down was the year after. Okay, but yeah, I remember Big Day Out for those things. You know, like System of a Down, Queens of the Stone Age. All those bands like that, and that was my freaking youth. Going on Channel V, this is like the Aussie version of MTV, and they would record and replay the Big Day Out. And I remember like videotaping back when VHS was still a thing. I remember recording like Queens of the Stone Age from Big Day Out when Channel V replayed the whole thing. So really cool. And System of a Down were there, and this band was there, and I wanted to see System of a Down, so I recorded them, rewatched it. Fucking amazing.
Awesome.
And there's an interesting one because when you're going over the discography, Steal This Album, for example, was the massive follow-up album for, of course, Toxicity. And
Toxicity. Oh my God. Yeah, okay.
Yes. And I mean, like, you know, Steal This Album was a couple of hackers actually went into it and found out the track lists, and they renamed all the track lists just to throw them off at last minute. That's why a lot of I think you can find like all the original track listings somewhere, and they called it obviously Steal This Album. And if you have the original copy, I've lost mine somewhere. It was pretty much a carbon copy of what a blank CD was. CDR 36, and just like the typical white lines that you would have on a burnt CD.
In fucking Sharpie text, Steal This Album.
And the album cover.
Was it a clear cover?
It was a clear cover. Yeah. It was it. It was just a CD case. Yeah, it was a clear case just with the CD showing, and it just said Steal This Album.
That's the way you buy albums, right? Like, I remember, so I would have seen something like that in a record store if I was your age. I would have pulled it up and just been like, yep, that one's in the fucking bag. The way that I got into Death Grips was I pulled out No Love Deep Web, and I couldn't see a cock because you can't see cocks in Australia. It was just in a black leather slip bag.
Yeah, Lord above if you ever see a dick.
I just looked at it and was like, oh, it's going straight in my basket.
There's a peanut. Oh,
yeah,
that's going there.
Homosexuality has been aroused in me again.
I like boys now.
But yeah, System of a Down, so prolific. Like, see, I even though someone that I wasn't into metal music, and I really like hate saying it because I just missed the scene. I missed the whole like genre of music, and I'm disappointed. And I'm trying to catch up now. I didn't miss System of a Down. Like, I got a lot of exposure to them. Some of my best friends were big System of a Down fans. We used to like set up for plays and stuff that were like local plays in the school I was part of, and we used to like sound test with System of a Down songs to make sure everything was just schmeek. 7 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're still here at school, and we're playing System of a Down. We're all on a suicide. Let's go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There was an interesting one as well with their last two albums, Mesmerise, Hypnotise.
Yeah.
They're the last double albums. Sorry, I don't mean double. They're the last two separate albums by an artist to appear number one in the charts.
In the Billboard?
Yeah, so what I mean by that is like if an artist released two albums in 1 year, that was the last time by any artist to have two different albums in the same year.
So far.
No.
Billboard's done?
No, this is back to this. We're still waiting. We're still waiting to find out. It was 2006, but it was the last two albums brought out by a band. Yeah, back to back, where they were simultaneously number one.
Yeah.
The one before that was Use Your Illusion.
Yeah, okay.
1 and 2.
Yep.
So yeah, that's actually quite interesting to note that.
Yeah,
I can't remember
and
before
that like speaks to their fucking prolific influence as well. Like, like I was saying earlier, I didn't realise that Iron Maiden were UK. This is showing what US metal was doing too. Like, US metal wasn't to be, blinded to. You ain't closing your eyes. Like, they started making their own thing. But this is like, what'll be 40 years later, 20 years later.
Which one are you talking about?
Between Iron Maiden and System of a Down, this is like 20 years later.
20 years after. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly. Yeah, if you're talking about like Number of the Beast to Toxicity, that's nearly 20. That's a bit over 20 years.
And Iron Maiden, just to come back to it, they're still going. They are still making albums at this stage. They haven't stopped. I don't know yet because I haven't listened to it, but they are still going.
But System of a Down, on the other hand, they're touring, thriving. But they're only doing Europe, and they're not doing any albums. And there's reasons behind that. They kind of hate each other's guts.
Oh, rough. But I mean, it makes sense. They were making some pretty fucking charged music. Like, they were making some music that was like live, ride, die. Like,
yeah.
I'm not surprised to hear that. It sucks to hear that, but I'm not surprised to hear that. The best bands usually don't like each other.
I'm just kind of genuinely surprised that they've been touring together for as long as they have at the moment.
Even if they don't like each other, especially.
Yeah. I know that
the message is more important, obviously, then.
I mean, they did have their EP, single, I should say, out recently.
Okay.
Genocide and what's the other track? Can't remember now. But
is it something light, like Fluffy Bunnies?
Yeah, you know what? It might have been a cover of a Beatles song. No,
I was there for it. You had me.
Yeah, it was definitely Yellow Submarine. We all live in an emergency zone. What you talking about the drinks people back in 1972?
People that have minor drug offences are filling up American prisons.
Yellow Submarine is a subversion of what you do. Anyway, but yeah. So Genocide was definitely one of the tracks. And it was like the first songs they had recorded in nearly 15 years.
Yeah.
And people were just blowing over like, fuck, it's happening.
Actually, no, never mind. It was a different band. But I was going to say, like, they're still relevant. They're still going. They're still, they're still part of the scene. They're still influential. Like, all these years later, they're still like just as big and just as important as they were when they first dropped. And they're coming out of backwards ass Armenia, and this is an I would call them like an American staple.
Well, they did grow up in America. I think they were like Armenian descendants. I don't think they were Armenian born. Yeah. But, definitely the parents were.
I feel bad because I don't know anyone but Sergej's name in that band. But see, this is just like this. Just
Serge Tankovic.
Yeah, this just shows you how like little I know about metal. So it sucks that you gave me these lists because I feel like I'm going to be stepping on people's actual loves.
What's his name? Davo Malkin.
Yeah, I believe you. That sounds like a name I've heard.
Yeah, he's a guitarist. So talk about cocaine.
Yes.
That guy, yeah. How much cocaine do you do? Yes. Enough to make
3 albums happen.
Enough to put the darkness under the table. Yeah. That guy was so fun. I mean, the guy had songs out called Cocaine and that shit like that.
So some very serious topic matter. Like they weren't shying away from the fact that
this song makes me feel like I'm on cocaine. I think was the track or something like that.
There you go. And then I can like draw a direct line between their influence and like Velvet Underground's influence. That song "Heroin" by Velvet Underground off their seminal album Velvet Underground. I've never tried heroin. I'll never try heroin. I don't think because it's one of those drugs that fully scares me. But that song made a pretty good point, didn't it? Like. Heroin is my life and it's my wife when the needle hits the vein and a rush and all my runs.
Yeah, Lou Reed is the spokesman everyone for anti-drug use.
It wasn't Nico. She's do drugs. Listen to Nico. You'll understand.
Lou Reed is all up there like, I have a cup of coffee and my coffee is actually heroin.
Yes.
Woo! Do more.
I actually want to ask you off camera. What are your thoughts of Lulu?
Fuck that album.
Oh, see, I really want to like that album.
I am the table, which is like a 17-minute track of just saying I am the table. No, you don't want to waste your life.
See, to me, if that was a Death Grips album, fucking whatever I want, fuck is asking is literally like the lyric matter is brace yourself. I only steal whatever I want. Fuck who's watching. Fuck who's watching. Fuck who's watching. Fuck who's watching.
Yeah, no, that album's a waste of fucking time.
And I really want to like it because I've heard really good rebuttals to the sense, because like I know that album has got some fucking problems. There's like,
it's poetry to a metal band, and I don't like poetry albums, and I don't like
metal bands.
I don't like metal. I can't believe I said that on
My list
camera.
needs to be revised.
Oh shit, I can't believe I did that. No, I don't like poetry albums. I think they're well past the point of wankerism. You know, Jim Morrison, look at that piece of shit album. And
Morrison Hotel? Was that the right one?
I don't know, most of the Doors.
Rough.
If it ain't the first album, it's just... Anyway. And Riders of the Storm.
Oh, that's the first album.
No, it's not.
Really?
Riders of the Storm is not the first album. The Doors is the Doors' first album.
I thought Riders of the Storm... No, it's definitely not. I'm sorry.
Riders of the Storm is like third album or something. Yeah, but I do not like that album.
I remember fondly listening to The Doors, and then was trying to talk about my music taste to one of my other friends. Shout out to Simon. And he was like, "You know what my favourite Doors song is?" And then he showed me this song by Tism. Shitting on Morrissey's fucking... Not Morrissey, it is Morrison. Shitting on Morrison's fucking, like, lackluster bullshit poetry and his whiny fucking attitude. And I'm like...
Just the fact it's Tism.
Okay. Fuck my music taste.
I want the drug. I want the drug
that
killed Jim Morrison. Well, that was alcohol.
The Fonz got drunk. I drank the slide. The Fonz got drunk. Anyone, shout out to Tism. Let's represent Australians.
Represent Tism people who were separated for 20 years. When they came back, they announced that they were returning, and they said that their best musical contribution was the 20 years of silence they gave the musical industry.
And then they re-released their best cover album or something like that, didn't they?
Wouldn't surprise me. Their website was www.wanker.com.au. I think
every single live show that they did that I know about them was their Tism is leaving the music scene. Ring up and save Tism, save our Tism. Every single one.
I saw Tism at.
I'm so jealous.
I caught like the last track, and I shit you not, it ended with a cement mixer.
And you don't like avant-garde music, but you understand, right? You get it.
I just like I remember because I was like walking through this festival. It was what festival was it? Good Things Festival. So this is a metal punk kind of festival.
And Tism's
on that. So sure, why not? Anyway, and I remember walking past. There was like someone on top of a sign of the letter T on it, crowd surfing. And I remember looking because I'm like, oh, I might catch the end of Tism. They were already off stage. There was tunes, and I'm just listening to this, and I'm like, what is that sound? Is that coming from the stage? And I'm like, we're listening, and I go, dude, that's a cement mixer. That's a cement mixer truck just doing this round.
You know what they probably did? They probably put their own album in that cement mixer and let it just go for a little while. That sounds like a Tism song.
That would be totally what they did. Yeah. They put de rigor mortis in the cement mixer and they just recorded that. Technically, it's our song.
We did it again.
Amazing. But, I mean, I love Tism. But anyway, come back to that. System of a Down. Wow. Talk about 6 degrees of separation.
I can draw a straight line.
It looks like this.
I like music. Music likes me.
This is not an ADHD experience, people. Not at all. Not too drunk.
Alright, second Advil drop now. And you're in the room.
Welcome back. How was that ad for you? That was sponsored by Tism.
Sponsored by Tism. If they could pay. Oh, if they could pay.
I'd fucking interview them in a heartbeat.
System of a Down.
System of a Down, though.
So I feel bad because I know a lot about System of a Down's music. It was very influential to me growing up, but I haven't listened to a lot of their albums. I've definitely listened to Toxicity because Toxicity has influenced the way that I think.
Yep.
I'd probably listened to a little bit of Steal This Album.
Yeah.
I've listened to all their singles, so I've listened to something off Mesmerize. I didn't even know they had new songs, so...
Oh,
I know.
sorry, producer.
I know, Chowder, I'm so wrong.
Yeah, producer just disagreed and said, I can't believe it. That's your homework and what you got to do.
I've got a lot. I'm just trying to get through Iron Maiden. I'm just trying to get through one.
One thing at a time. It's funny because like when you got to Hypnotise and Mesmerise, which was so big at the day, they actually influenced Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
And they released an album, what was it called? The Untouchables or something like that? Or some fucking bullshit. Anyway, they planned to do 2 albums out. And because the album was so shit, they just stopped.
Is it a not good one? It's not good.
It's pretty horrific. It's 7 tracks and every track is
Somehow,
something.
Unfortunately, with Limp Bizkit, I'm not surprised. That might be controversial, but...
it's controversial with me.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I love Limp Bizkit. They're my fucking youth.
But see, I don't disagree with your youth. I think your youth is fantastic. I think that my experience with Limp Bizkit is fantastic as well because I love that youth stuff. But I can look back at that and go, man, we were wrong. We were so wrong.
I swear, Nookie is the greatest lyrical content ever created.
I did it all. What the Nookie? What the Nookie? What the Nookie? And you can take that cookie.
Stairway to Heaven has nothing on the Nookie lyrically. Jim Morrison, fuck off. Have you met Fred Durst?
Oh no.
Have you heard the spokesman that talks about his brother pissing into a puddle of a bucket or something like that?
Alright, I'm back. Never mind. I take back everything I say about Limp Bizkit.
He's a genius, man. He's a genius. You know why? Because he wants to break stuff and get all that nookie.
Oh, I like break stuff. Actually, break stuff is
That's
banging.
gym music right there. Just one of those days.
Just one of those days when you don't want to wake up.
Everything is fucked. Everybody sucks. We don't
don't really know why.
Do you want to justify ripping someone's head off?
Amazing. So yeah, I got some big choices here because not only are these not all of them. I'll unfortunately argue that Guns N' Roses not a band that I'm really keen on jumping into deep. But these are like, you know, System of a Down and Iron Maiden. They're bands that I'm like really adjacently interested in.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden, especially at the moment, like I'm like wrist deep through their discography, and I'm like, it can't go wrong.
People will say otherwise. I'll say it doesn't.
Good. And so like, and I've heard so much System of a Down that I'm like, why? How have I got to 30 years old and not revisited this? And you know, it's just taken me so long to just be like, right now, I'm angry enough for metal. I'm disenfranchised enough. I'm downtrodden. Yeah. I used to be so happy-go-lucky and everything was fine. I used to like listen to songs about women dancing through the night and all that stuff. But you know what? Fuck that scene. I'm ready to. I can hear some angriness. I'm ready to hear some like, I don't understand genocide. I know it's real. Oh my god, it happened in my lifetime. Tell me. Mm-hmm. Guns N' Roses changed everything though.
Yeah, I know.
They changed everything. So what do I do?
It's a big list. It's a big one to choose from. What would you say? Make it easy for yourself. Erase a band.
Yeah, right off the bat, I was going to say I'm going to have to erase first.
I'm going to guess Guns N' Roses.
It's going to have to be Guns N' Roses. It's going to have to be Guns N' Roses purely on the fact that I find Iron Maiden and System of a Down have 2 more interesting discographies. And you know, Guns N' Roses may have had probably out of these 3 bands a bigger influence in my immediate life. Like, you know, like I know Guns N' Roses have changed things. I know, but they just got to go. Like, they're just done. Actually, I want to talk about Thor: Love and Thunder. I did not hate that film. I thought that film was fun, but I fucking was so sick and tired of hearing every single soundtrack. Every single song was like, oh great, let's listen to 4 minutes of fucking Guns N' Roses again in a goddamn trailer that I just watched. We could have just had one, but no, let's do the whole fucking song.
I want to choose my own path.
It's like seeing a Martin Scorsese film and not hearing the Rolling Stones.
Exactly, but at least it was the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, that's true. Like, you've only got like 5 songs with Guns N' Roses and that's it.
Yeah, and we do the same riff again, and we know Slash can play guitar. Let's just start with the guitar solo. Oh, it's the same fucking scene I saw in the trailer.
What about the other 2? So you've erased Guns N' Roses.
Erased Guns N' Roses. Now I got to make a hard choice. Do I listen to Iron Maiden for the rest of my life and just hope the fact that where I'm at right now at Virtual 11 doesn't get any worse? Or do I just like bite the bullet and say they're gone and take a potentially better discography? Like, fuck, what do I do?
Yeah.
Because a
risky move, people.
As far as I know, System of a Down are going to be a band that I'm going to like more. Like, they're not going to be a band that I like more of, but they're going to be a band that I know that I'm going to be like, fuck, I can't imagine how many stuff they didn't tell me this and I wasn't listening to them.
Yes.
I'm fucking here I am right now, 20 years late and I'm still fucking learning things.
I mean, wait till you get to their first album. That's really sick shit there. Spiders, the Devil, and Sugar. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum.
Did you realise that sugar is more like cocaine to me?
It's pretty much like that, yes.
So I don't know. Where do I start? I'm going to go live. What am I going to listen to live? Oh. Based solely on the fact that there are so many live albums.
You can't listen to the live albums though. That's a part of it.
No. I'm not going to listen to live albums, but based solely on the fact that there are so many live albums that are like just as big as their studio recordings. I'm going to have to pick Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden's going to be my live band, and I am going to hear probably the best of Number of the Beast and Power Slave and never hear them again.
That's a big call. Wow.
And then I guess last on that list is listen to System of a Down for the rest of my life, a band that I have, in my opinion, not listened to enough.
Right on. That's a big call.
It's huge.
Especially because you're just getting into Iron Maiden.
The thing that I love about your band, your game, is that not only are you erasing erasing a band from existence, you're essentially erasing another. From your own existence. Like you're getting rid of two whole bodies of work. Just like Thanos did.
The Snap people, but mine's more efficient. They're not saying got shit.
Play Marvel Snapped. I'm pretty sure there was an ad for it at the start of this.
Everybody's Snap. And like that, Guns N' Roses, they're gone. When it comes to this list, which I put together in the last 5 minutes, the 5 minutes I did before, because it was going to be a little bit different. It was going to be Tool in there. Yeah, Tool.
I would have loved to have talked about Tool.
Tool and Iron Maiden and Guns N' Roses was the original. But no, we are System of a Down.
Guns N' Roses would have been fun. That's easy.
Oh. Guns N' Roses erased. But no, if I was going to go over it, I would erase Guns N' Roses. It'd be unfortunate, but the fact is, they had one good album.
They just don't stand up next to the other two fucking prolific bands.
They had one really good album. They had two decent albums.
They're very good at reminding us that music exists, and they're very, like my brother's story of him playing Rumble live and then reminding us all about why Rumble was so good. Because Rumble's instrumental. There's no lyrics to Rumble. Rumble is just a guitar song. And
it's sick that they do that shit. Axl's probably one of the best vocalists that's around. But no, I would still erase Guns N' Roses. It'd be unfortunate. I haven't seen them live. I would love to see them live.
You should have seen them live recently. You should have gone with James. It should have been the Gorillaz concert that we missed with him.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had an extra ticket to Gorillaz. Shout out to people that miss Gorillaz.
Fuck you guys.
I had a friend there. His name was Paul, and he was a ghost. Actually, it was De La Soul.
It was De La Soul. You missed it.
I blew it. I blew the joke.
You blew it, didn't you? No, I would erase Guns N' Roses. As for the rest,
at least we agree.
This
now.
Yeah. The other two, though.
Now.
Wow. So this gets complicated because
these are two bands that influenced you personally a lot.
Yeah. I would probably have to go with seeing System of a Down live, purely because I haven't seen them live.
Yeah.
And and I could go back to any fucking concert. I would go to the Big Day Out concert that they did. After watching it and it being this thing on the podium for me, I could go and see System of a Down at the Big Day Out. I would love to see if they could even add a song like Metro, which was used in the soundtrack for Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah. Fuck, I know that song.
Yeah.
Oh, God, they're so good. I'm so glad that I get to listen to them forever.
Yeah, but I'm going to see it live. Fuck you.
It's not fair. This game's not fair. The rules are rigged.
If they could play that live, which is a very underappreciated song that gets overlooked by their entire discography.
I'm so keen. I'm so glad I'm doing metal. I'm so glad I'm doing metal right now.
I love that one. But yeah, I would see them live because it'd be so energetic. It's a band I've always wanted to see live since like 20 years ago, and to see them would be fantastic. And just Iron Maiden, I don't think I could go without listening to them, I should say.
Yeah.
Because there's such a wealth of music at the end of the day with all their albums.
Yeah, and you're lucky
they've done
too.
like
This is
17
albums.
albums.
Was so hard for me. Like, I was so fucking like, I gotta get rid of like fucking 20 albums, or I get 4. I get rid of 4. 5.
6, I think.
6.
1, 2,
I can't
3,
count.
4.
I can tell you stuff
5.
about numbers and how interesting it is, but I can't count.
I think System of a Down had 5 albums. I'm trying to think. There was the self-titled Toxicity, Steel, Hypnotize, Mesmerize. Yeah, 5.
5.
Yeah, there's only 5. Short thing, but anyway, whatever. That is what I would choose.
Short, fast, loud. Shout out Triple J.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I would pick it.
Yeah.
That's how I would go. Iron Maiden, listen. System of a Down, live.
Which is so respectable. I respect that too, because I also,
It's
knowing
a
that I have to
hard
get rid of
one.
Power Slave and Number of the Beast.
But the fact
and
that
the
you would
fucking
see them
Killers.
live is a next level experience, because the concert
I can
experiences
get a
are
wide
there.
brush. I can get a very wide brush. Oh, but it's still not fair.
I know.
I haven't even got there yet. I know that I'm going to like more than you liked. I know it.
You're still going to enjoy what they've got to offer.
I really hope I like
They
the
really
newest
are.
album.
But at the live concerts are next level because the
It's-
theatrics,
And not only
what
that,
they
we're
bring
seeing
on,
fucking
and
Spinal Tap.
what the hell is this?
Thank you. Medium setting. Oh god, it's so good. It's so good. They get to see the real live hodgepodges themselves.
Yep. The Flower Children, or whatever it is, their first name of the album. I mean, band. Yeah, the Flower Children.
Oh, give me some money. How good's that?
Give me some money.
I know what I want.
Sniff the glove.
Oh yes, love the glove. That's a Nintendo reference.
Oh, what is that? Like Super Smash Bros?
Oh, the Power Glove.
That's the Master Hand.
The Power Glove.
Yeah.
The whatever it was, the movie The Wizard. There was this movie in the 80s called The Wizard that was like basically just this whole advertisement for the Power Glove, which was like an accessory for...
Oh shit! Yeah, I do know of that one. Yeah, I've seen it on some guy doing like dead technology and how much of a
that's
failure
it.
it
And
was.
back in the fucking 80s,
This is
where
amazing.
games can't do anything. It's like, yep, you can't do anything with it.
Yeah. So what can you do with this? Not
Love
much.
the glove. It's so powerful.
I'm just gonna try and edit like that Nintendo glove or whatever it is on top of
Just
on
that
top of the
scene.
Spinal Tap.
There's a
On top
scene-
of the Spinal
there's a
Tap
scene
with the
them-
chick
Yes!
sniffing. Did you think it's a bit detrimental? This naked lady sniffing a glove. No, what are you talking about?
Love the glove.
Love
It's
the
so
glove.
powerful.
So that's where I'll end this episode, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this one because
rough.
what a list. I know we got pretty hammered
Tense.
during it. And tell us, people, what would you, out of that list, who would you erase? Who would you go see live once? And who would you listen to forever? Comment below. Let us know your thoughts. And as always, I hope you have a great day, and don't forget to stay spicy.
Ew.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Live Listen Erased. And if you have enjoyed this episode, make sure you share it with all your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our Chili Con Carnage crew so you can get notified for all the future videos that we put out, as we put out videos every Friday. Also, we are on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter over at Live Listen Erased, so make sure to tune in over there. And don't forget to like this video so that our manager can stay very happy.